You're what's happening? It's Chris Hall here. I need everybody within the sound of my voice to follow me on Instagram at Chris Hall ATL. Once you follow me on Instagram, in my bio, you will see the YouTube link in my bio. Go ahead and click that. When you get to the YouTube, go ahead and click the notification bell so you're always notified when I drop some new content. It's a rainy day in Atlanta. How's everybody doing tonight? I see a couple people up in this joint. Glad that y'all can make it out. Yesterday we had a good show. We talked about the difference between attraction and interest. We was on IG Live. I'm gonna start doing more IG Lives. I think it's a lot more simplified for people. The audio is so it's kind of difficult to rip that and put it on YouTube, but I'm here for the people. I like to make things easy for y'all, but we're here. So today, the subject is ghosting. Oh yes, ghosting. Have y'all been ghosted? Are you the one doing the ghosted? You doing the ghosting? Or you been ghosted? Which one? I think everybody's ghosted somebody. So the definition for ghosting. Ghosting is a colloquial term used to describe the practice of ceasing all communication and contact with a partner, friend, or similar individual without any apparent warning or justification, and subsequently ignoring any attempts to reach out or communication made by said partner, friend, or individual. You guys got the definition? Good. So, what are some reasons for ghosting? Some top reasons that I have for ghosting. Got my top two, and then I also have little subtopics as well. So one good one, especially for men, is, and I hear this a lot from ladies when they do come to me to tell me their gripes about men, is that men can't communicate, right? We just can't communicate for some odd reason. Why is that? Who knows? Men, we need to work on our communication skills. Another reason, on the men's side at least, the reason we ghosted you will hurt your feelings. And most men know that women cannot handle the truth. At least when it's gonna hurt your feelings, you don't, right? You can't handle that at all. At all. Women are more emotional creatures. Men, we can get our feelings hurt. But y'all have to understand, men are the hunters. So we hunt every day, day in and day out, getting declined jobs, getting denied from other women, going to court and getting denied, bond and bail, and all type of stuff. So we're used to rejection and getting our feelings hurt, almost so much that women don't even care about our feelings because it may seem like we don't have any, but we do. When I cry, you cry. We cry together. So your personality was piss poor, and we want to avoid the argument that we know damn well will come up. So in this example, let's say we go out on a date. Me and you go on a date, I just met you. Let's say it's the first date. First date is usually when them ghostings come because we don't have any emotional ties. Ain't no emotional ties for real. I just met you. We met to see if we, see if we can come to some type of connection or something, or feel some type of connection. And if we don't, especially if it's a bad date, like your personality was piss poor, or you didn't look like we thought you looked, we just might ghost you. Might. And you're thinking this was such a good date and this, that, and the third, when in all actuality, we were there just serving our time. Like Marshawn Lynch said, you're just there so we don't get fined. We made the date and we gotta pay. So we're there, we pay, and we get the hell out of there. And then we may not text you back. Hell, you may not text us back. Sometimes I've been on dates. Let me shrink this. I've been on dates so bad, that the ghosting is mutual. Y'all ever had that? Have you ever had a date to where it was so bad, the ghosting was mutual? It's like you both already knew the drill. You knew the drill. This date sucked. Screw this. I'm not hitting this guy up. I'm not hitting this girl up. And you both kind of, it's like mutual ghosting. That should be a thing. Mutual ghosting. That's what, let me write that down. Mutual ghosting. That's a good ghosting. Nobody gets hurt. What's already understood doesn't need to be explained. This date was trash. So you shouldn't expect a phone call or a text, right? All right, men, you ready for this one? The reason we ghost women is because we have a girlfriend or a wife. Ooh, you don't like that one? No. Nobody likes that one. And the reason that we ghost you when we have a girlfriend or a wife is because if we told you the truth, we'd either risk being caught or we risk not being able to have access to you anymore. That's if we weren't ghosting. But if we're ghosting, we don't want to risk getting caught. So we'd rather just let it slide, you know? And this usually happens when a guy tells a girl he does not have this is unbeknownst to her. She does not know. She thought you were single. Some guys also deal with the don't ask, don't tell thing. You ain't asked me if I had a wife. You ain't asked me if I had a girlfriend. Closed mouth don't get fed. Ain't that right? Here's a good one. We may not be in a committed relationship, but there is someone who came before you that has finally piqued our interest enough to move to the next step. And in turn, men, with our rosters, we all have our draft picks, we start cutting people off. Some people we tell we're cutting off. Some people haven't made it to that plateau to where it even matters. And then we might just ghost them. All right? We might just ghost them. What exactly makes you worthy of not getting ghosted? When exactly do you not ghost somebody? Is it the first date, second date, in 2 weeks, a month? When is someone worthy of an explanation of why I don't want to talk to you anymore? It's been my experience to, when you do explain to somebody why you don't think that it's a match, it's usually a back and forth, which is most likely one of the reasons why we didn't want to talk to you in the first place, because of your attitude, right? Your attitude. You're inconsiderate. All you care about is yourself. Who wants somebody like that? Men want somebody selfless. We want people to care about us. All you care about is yourself, whatever you want. That's it. So that's why we may ghost and not even say nothing, because it's most likely going to be an argument of some sort. Here's a big one. You ready for this one? I wish I had like a drum roll sound effect or something like that. This is the big one. If you got ghosted directly after sex, either it's the girlfriend-wife scenario that I explained to you about 2 points prior, or that WAP wasn't whapping like you thought it was. Oh yes. That's another misconception, that there's like no such thing as bad vagina. Oh yes. Now it may not be the actual physical vagina, but the sexual experience may have been something that we didn't care for. It may have been a little odor down there. May have been a dead lay. Maybe just wasn't good, period. You may have took the clothes off and all type of stuff just fell out. And we like, what the hell? That wasn't there earlier. Who knows? There are memes, sayings, songs, you name it, about men lacking in the bedroom. Am I right? Stop me when I'm lying, all right? There are there are conversations there. You talk about the length, the size, the width, the girth, the stroke, the this, that, and the third. I rarely hear anybody talking about a woman's sexual experience. Rarely ever. But guess what? It is true. Yes, you can have bad sex. And then we might ghost you. Because think about it. Think about this. When in the hell has a guy ever told you your sex was whack? When? When did a man say, you know what, sweetheart? Conversation was great. The dinner was good. I'm glad you picked that place. I love that place. But that thing wasn't whapping. It wasn't at all, man. So I'm going to have to take my talents elsewhere, okay? You hear me? It's not happening. We're not doing that because that would floor an individual. I'm sure it would floor a guy as well, you know? So instead, we just drift off into the sunset in our ghosting. What you want us to do? Tell you? So you want us to you know how many women tell me to tell them that I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me what you're gonna do about it. What you gonna do about it? How much has your sexual experience changed in the past, I don't know, 7-8 years? You probably have the same sex that you've been having. You're not gonna change anything. Nothing at all. Now, am I condoning ghosting? No, I'm not. I'm not condoning it. I'm just letting you know why it happens. So you know what happens. Let's get to some callers. How about that? Let's see. Who could I pick on? Nobody want to have the video, huh? Why do I always have to have my video? Nobody gets to have the video. That is insane. That is insane. Who ghosts more? Men or women? I think men ghost more. I've been ghosted. And guess what? You have no idea why. Sometimes you have not the slightest clue because the other person hasn't explained it to you. Hasn't explained it at all. No, they're not explaining it. Let me see here. Boom, boom, boom. That's there. Boom, 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 boom. Da, da, da. People are not explaining it. People ghost for many different reasons. I was on a date recently. Story time. I was on a date recently with a young lady. Really cool. Went out, had some tacos, had a great night. I mean, we laughed. I will say, conversation was a little contentious, but it wasn't horrible. We vibed, we chilled. Nothing sexual. It's a good night. We gave each other a hug goodnight. I went home. She went home. Told her to text me when she gets in. She says, okay. Doesn't text me when she gets in. I don't think she died or nothing. That I know of. But that goes into the, what did we write down earlier? Mutual ghosting. Goes into the mutual ghosting. We both had no idea. Had no idea about the other. Not the slightest clue. All right, so we got people in here. What's going on? Where y'all at? Let's see. Who disagrees? Who's got a comment, suggestion? Anybody want to add anything? So I could definitely talk all night. Let's see. Get them in. There we go. Shar, what's going on?
Hi.
What's the deal? What's the deal? How are you?
Great.
Good. Introduce yourself. What's your name? How old are you? Where you from? All that cool stuff.
Oh, that's a lot.
All right. Nobody knows you. You ain't even got your video on.
Yeah.
You can literally do whatever at this point.
I'm Shar. I'm 35.
Last time you checked. Okay.
Oh, yeah. And I'm from Detroit.
The D. What's the temperature in the D right now?
50 something.
50 something. Wow. Well, here it's about the same temperature, just cold and raining. I think it's a flood warning of some sort. So, what do you have on the topic for the day when it comes to ghosting? Have you ghosted? Are you ghosting somebody right now? What's the deal? Have you been ghosted?
Been ghosted. I don't believe I have ghosted anyone recently. Because I give people reasons why I'm not talking to them. I have those uncomfortable adult conversations. So I don't really ghost people.
How do those uncomfortable? So, and what I was saying earlier, when I was saying like, when I do build up the courage to have those conversations, they are pretty freaking uncomfortable. And it usually ends in some type of back and forth because that person feels like
you should not ghost them.
They did nothing wrong.
I mean, you should not. Yeah, they feel like you should not go away because they don't see their fault. But I mean, I've had conversations with people where I just literally say, it's not going to work. We don't mesh well. So we should just leave it where it's at.
So when you've gotten ghosted, did you know why? Like, did you, okay, well, maybe this was it. Maybe he didn't like this, or maybe he didn't like that.
No.
You had no idea.
And actually, he came back like months later and explained why he ghosted me. It was some bullcrap excuse, but it had nothing supposedly to do with me. But
oh, boom! There we go. All right, now we cooking with grease. Hold on. There we go. All right, there we go. Sorry, I'm my own engineer. I'm the host. All type of stuff. Moving all type of people around the place. All right, here we go. Okay, so you said you had no idea why you got ghosted?
No.
No?
Nope.
Okay, was it after sex maybe?
Not at all.
No, okay. What happened prior? Was there any moments leading, like y'all had a date scheduled and then just nowhere to be found?
No, nothing happened. I was like cooking and like I made a pie and I was like, are you gonna come get some? And then didn't get an answer for like months. But
hold on, my man ain't come for no pie?
No pie.
Come on, man.
No pie. No pie.
Okay, that's how you do it. Man, I am learning this thing on the go. There we go. That's what I've been wanting to do right here. Boom. All right. Now we cooking with grease. Okay. So you believe that people shouldn't ghost, that we should tell them why we don't want to talk to them anymore.
Basically, I mean, if you were talking to this person like off and on, just randomly, you don't have to give a reason. But I would think if you're talking to someone consistently throughout the week, at least give them enough respect to say, hey, blase split, this is why I'm not going to talk to you, or I don't think it's going to work. So whatever the case might be. But I understand people, especially some men, don't want to go through that because they don't want to have that conversation. But that's part of being an adult. You're going to, at some point, have to have uncomfortable conversations with people. So suck it up.
I would say most of my ghosting is that mutual ghosting. Like I had a situation to where on a dating app, I was talking to a young lady for like a month almost. I hadn't moved here yet, talking to her for about a month. And then I set up a date to meet her, right? Set up a date to meet her, and last minute she canceled, right? Now, with that, subsequently, I didn't hit her up, she didn't hit me up. So that is like a mutual
that's a
ghosting.
win-win.
Or should I have hit her up the next day and was like, hey, I know you stood me up yesterday, but I don't think this working out. You got a lot going on. We can't seem to connect. Like, am I supposed to go there?
Not necessarily, because that's both of you kind of agreed, like this is not where it's at, and let's move on. So, but if the person is actively trying to communicate, then like just say something. It doesn't have to be anything in depth. You could just be like, this not working, I'm gonna block you. I don't know. But
should it be through text? Let's say that they do text you. So they text you. Let's say you're now in, you wake up, you say, you know what? I don't want to deal with Robert anymore. I'm good. I don't want to deal with Robert no more. I've made up my mind. Robert texts you his same old tired ass text that he sends to everybody. Good morning, beautiful. Right? Mm-hmm. Sends a tired text. You're like, here this nigga go.
So good morning, beautiful is just like, that's not a real.
It's a text.
Yeah, but that's not a real conversation. I ignore those frequently.
I did text you though. Everyone says good morning or hello or something, some type of greeting when they first text you.
I guess.
You don't say good morning when you text somebody? If it's in the morning.
I tend to say grand rising, but.
Grand rising. Look, whether you say grand rising, good morning, buenos dias, or whatever, he reaches out to you. You've made up your mind you don't want to talk to Robert. What do you do at that point?
I won't respond.
That's a ghost.
Good morning. I probably won't respond. But if it was like something like, oh, let's hang out or whatever, then I will probably respond and say, this is not going to work. I don't think we should hang out anymore, or whatever the case might be.
Okay, so you can separate yourself from an individual via text. That's cool.
If you texting me, I might call you. It depends on the
level.
The level and how long you've been talking to this person. If it's been months, like 4+ months, you'll probably get a phone call, because I probably have some level of respect for you, more than like just a baseline level of respect. So you'll probably get a phone call. Mm-hmm. But
so at that point, you get the phone call.
Like just within a week or 2 weeks or even a month, you'll probably get a text.
Okay. So you can bid yourself adieu either via text or phone call, depending on the level that you have with that person. Now, would you want the same courtesy to you? So if a guy wakes up, you say, you know what? Sure about that bullshit.
Yep, and they have, and I'll be like,
and look, okay. I'm good off of this one. If she hit me up, I'm good. What would you want him to do? You hit him up. What would you say, Grand Rising? You hit him up, Grand Rising, and he doesn't text anything back.
I maybe call later on, or I might not say anything. It depends on who the individual is and how long they've been around. Because if I know this person works or has something to do in the morning or whatnot, then they're probably busy. Plus, I'm busy. I have other things to do as well. So it just depends.
A young lady told me, the young lady I was dating, She said that ghosting gives women a complex. Maybe she's just talking about herself, or I don't know. But you think that to be true? That women can gain a complex by being ghosted maybe multiple times?
It's part of trauma. So if people get into relationships or situationships or whatever where they have some sort of emotional connection with someone and they consistently keep having these relationships that end abruptly, then yes, but that doesn't have to necessarily be a woman. It could be a man, it could be anybody, but that's something for them to discuss with a therapist and figure out better discernment to avoid that situation.
Not discernment. Okay. All right. So back to that big one that I was talking about, to where guys may ghost somebody because the sexual experience wasn't up to par. If you're with a guy who you're dating, you have sex with this individual, and the answer is going to be your sex was not up to par, would you want them to tell you that?
Me or them?
You. That WAP just ain't whapping like he thought it would.
I mean, there's certain ways to say something, but I mean,
how do you say it?
What would be the purpose of telling? Like, do you want them to get better at it, or just want to tell them to drop them?
Well, no, you're just telling them this is why you're parting ways, because you said that you would want someone to tell you the reason.
I don't need to know the reason necessarily.
So what you need to know exactly? You're gonna want to know.
I mean, just say it. I'll be like, oh, all right. Now, if I'm vested, then I might want to know the reason, but it depends. Every person is different, but that's a delicate conversation to have. That's pretty
delicate, man. I can't see how. That's why I've never had it. Because I do not know how to tiptoe through that. I wouldn't know. So I'm asking you as a woman, if this was you.
I can't fathom how to answer that.
That's tough.
I don't know. I would say just word it as not accusatory or blaming her for anything. I would just say we aren't sexually compatible and leave it at that. Just say that. That's general blanket statement.
So you think?
Because that's mean. That hurts people's feelings.
Hold on. So you think that I'm gonna get on the phone and tell a woman, "Hey man, we're just not sexually compatible," and she's gonna say, "Okay."
She's gonna say, "What do you mean?
What do you mean?" Exactly. That person is gonna want something tangible.
Well, just say it. Put your big boy jaws on and say it.
Say it. Pussy trash. That's what you want me to just say.
You can use other words, but sure.
Wow. I don't see that going over well. I see a bunch of deflection,
denial. Say a lot of curse words. And say F you and F that. But oh well, let her be mad. Move on. That's even more reason you didn't want to talk to her anyway. Now she's mad and she'll never call you again. So win-win situation.
Men just don't like hurting feelings. Like, y'all are very sensitive on things like that. Weight, sex. I mean, I don't think that y'all have ever been challenged like that. Y'all have never, I'm sure.
We're challenged every day. What do you mean? We're challenged every day. We wake up and we're challenged every day about what is society's position on the way we dress, the way we talk, the way we wear our hair, the way we part our hair, the way we wear makeup or don't wear makeup, if we wear a real hair, if we don't wear a real hair, if all of these things. So that's a whole nother story, but it's a lot.
Have you ever told a man that the sex wasn't good?
I have. I have.
And how'd that go?
I mean, he kind of already knew. He already knew. He already knew. And there were apologies. But
oh. So let me get this straight. Let me go here. Let me go speaker view there. You told him your sex was trash.
Didn't say trash.
And I'm just saying that's how I speak. You told him his sex was inadequate.
No, I probably say you got to do better than that. That's probably what I honestly said. But
I mean, that's pretty equivalent to trash. You need to do better than that.
But he said, I remember he said, yeah, that's not my best. that was trash. He used the word trash. So
So have you but you wouldn't have ghosted him because of that. Y'all were on a level to where it's not like you was gonna ghost him. Like if you didn't tell him, like let's say you didn't say
that particular person, no. No. But it would probably be a situation where, I mean, if it's, you probably have a thought process of, do I want to try this again or do I want to just leave it alone? But it's like a way to ease your way out of that dating that person, probably.
Just kind of slowly create distance between you and that person.
Probably, yes.
So back to one of the other points where we spoke about that person having a girlfriend or a wife. Have you seen that to be true, that men will ghost you if they have a girlfriend or a wife whenever they're done doing whatever they were supposed to do?
Of course. When they break up or mad, and then when they get back together, they're back with them, and then you don't hear from them. You might hear from the wife or the girlfriend.
That happens.
But you won't hear from them. So I would believe it. I would believe a lot of people out here claiming that they're single really have a live-in. So
a whole live-in and say they're single.
Exactly. Because social media allows you to live a double life more than your granddaddy, where he had a woman across town.
Across town. Yeah, he had to drive to a whole nother zip code.
Exactly.
We just gotta unlock our phone.
Yep.
Okay. So do you believe that men have the ability to communicate such things?
100% fact. About what? Such things about not wanting why you are incompatible and to leave, or
all of the above. Do you think men hold the capacity? Because like I said,
they do.
In my monologue,
they do, and I've met some, so they do.
Because like I said in my monologue, that men know that most women, not all women, just can't handle the truth because it's going to become combative. Because we're literally think about it. Think about me telling you I don't want. I'm literally saying I don't want you. Imagine that.
Okay, I would prefer someone to say they don't want me than waste years of time, money, effort. Like I've heard the saying, you only let a man tell you he doesn't want you one time. So have the courage to say that one time versus trying to find reasons or doing stupid shit to piss her off to make her leave, because that's what a lot of y'all do. Y'all don't have enough balls to say, hey, I don't want to continue this, so you do things that are shady to make us pick up and leave. And then you play the victim as well and say, oh, well, she left me, and when you really didn't want the relationship to begin with.
I think that's more of a that's a standard way that a guy would do it, because we don't want to hurt your feelings. We would do things to get us in trouble so you could break up at that point.
Yeah, and that's really female. Like you guys are supposed to be so big and manly and tough.
It's quite the contrary.
simple
It's
conversation.
it's actually quite the contrary. It's quite the contrary. It's not that it's actually we're not big and tough because we actually have a heart and we don't want to hurt your feelings by telling you why we really don't want to deal with you no more.
But that's not hurting someone's feelings. You think like cheating or doing shady stuff isn't hurting someone's feelings? That's hurting someone's feelings.
I would hope somebody wouldn't cheat because of it, but that is one of the things that you could get, in trouble by. I'm sure of it. Do you think this is fair? Do you think when a man has a roster of some sort, he's dating, he's single, but dating, and when he's going through his roster, let's say you're down in number, I don't know, 3, maybe like 3rd down the depth chart. And like I said earlier, one woman has struck his interest to where he wants to move forward with that person. How would you want him to break it to you being 3rd on the depth chart that he's taking his talents to South Beach?
Just say, hey, I'm going to exclusively date someone, so I have to break off with you. Mm-hmm. Especially if everyone is aware that everyone is dating whoever they want, like, and nothing is exclusive. Just be honest. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, okay. Then it's no follow-up conversation. It's no follow-up on, oh, why? Because we know why. He chose someone else. Booyah. Move on.
Booyah. Mm. Man, I mean, I've done that. I've done that one time. I've cleared the roster like verbally one time. I've cleared the roster and I've had to tell, and these were people who I were talking to. I was talking to them and we were dating, and the other 2 definitely thought everything was going. See, that's the thing about ghosting, man. The other person thinks everything's going just fine. People don't be knowing your agenda at all. Most people hide most of their shit, right? Mm-hmm. They hide most of their stuff. No one knows. No one knows about none of this stuff. We just on for the ride. Men too. We'll be on for the ride thinking everything's peaches and cream, and then all of a sudden we don't hear from you no more, or you're not available all of a sudden.
Yep.
Like, damn, what happened?
It's somebody else.
But see, that's what usually happens is you usually, what I like to call fade to black. You just kind of fade out.
Yeah, so that's really not ghosting. It's like you kind of get the hint and you decide like, okay, I'm just gonna leave this alone.
So the fade to black method is probably, like you said, a little bit better. It's you don't hurt feelings. You kind of hope. I think you're hoping that person gets the point. You kind of hope this person gets the point.
They do context clues.
Okay. What do you do when someone just doesn't get the point? When you try to ghost them,
you make it crystal clear. You make it crystal clear.
At that point, you're gonna have to do it.
Yes. Or you can block them, and that's crystal clear too.
Okay. Let's see what Nisha's up to.
All right.
Thank you, Shar. Thank you, Shar. Let's see who else is in here. We got Nisha's in here. Let's ask her to unmute. Nisha, unmute. See what you got to say about the topic. So seemingly most people don't want you to ghost them. They don't want you to ghost them. They want you to, like Shar said, put your big boy, your big girl pants on and let this person know. Look them right in the eyes and tell them why. I can't deal with you no more. Don't call me no more. Don't text me no more. That seems like the better option. But I will say, as being in that position before, it's tough. It's tough. Nisha,
Hey.
what's happening?
Sorry,
What's
I can't put
happening?
my video on right now.
That's fine. That's fine. That seems to be an ongoing thing these days. Let me put myself in the middle here. Boom. There I go. Look at that. I'm larger than life in this joint. So the topic is ghosting. I know you may have missed the monologue earlier. I'll rehash it for you.
Okay.
So ghosting is a colloquial term used to describe the practice of ceasing all communication and contact with a partner, friend, or similar individual without any apparent warning or justification, and subsequently ignoring any attempts to reach out or communication made by said partner, friend, or individual. I have a few ghosting reasons.
Okay.
We can't communicate. Me and this other person just can't communicate. Everything's always contentious, so I just decided to ghost them instead. It's easier. And I said in that, men have to work on their communication skills. I think every woman who I've spoke to, the number one problem that they have with men is we cannot communicate. Would you agree with that?
It's a big problem. So yes, that is a big factor.
One of the reasons that we ghost you, because the truth on why we're ghosting you will hurt your feelings. Because men know that most women, at least emotionally, not mentally, there's nothing wrong with y'all mentally, where do we have the same brain for the most part. Emotionally, you can't handle the truth.
And is that a fact? Like, are you just assuming, or do men assume that, or do you know that for a fact?
Oh yeah. Majority of emotionally, you can't, depending on what it is, and you're about to hear a few things coming up on things men would avoid just saying and just ghost instead. So one of the reasons is your personality was piss poor and we wanted to avoid the argument that we may get into, right? There's another reason. It's a trifling reason, but we may have a girlfriend or a wife, and if we told you, it would risk us being caught.
Okay, that sounds like more of a you problem than for the problem.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that one, no. Yeah, that was not a part of the feelings.
Okay.
Here's a part of the feelings one is, we may not be in a committed relationship, right, Nisha? But there's someone who came before you that has finally piqued our interest enough to move on to the next step. And in turn, we start cutting off people. Because in this day and age, it's very rare you find someone dating absolutely one person from the onset, right? Usually people, even if you're not having sex with everybody, there's an open line of communication to multiple people, right? So it's difficult to go to the podium and literally cut off people. We would rather, what me and Shar was talking about earlier, we would do the fade to black method. So we would be, more unavailable, things like that. Women do that as well. So that's mutual at that point. But here's the big one. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Big one is, if the ghosting occurred directly after sex, then that may mean that WAP wasn't whapping like you thought it was. That, my friend, is the big one. And I cannot imagine a man telling a woman that her sex just was not up to par. You tell me.
On that particular point?
Sure, let's start at the bottom.
Okay.
How am I to tell you if I take you out on a date, Nisha, right? Take you out on a date, everything's going fine. Let's say it's our first date, right?
Okay.
Let's just say you let the spirit move you, and we end up having sexual relations that night, right?
Right.
You text me the next day, I say nothing. But I know the reason that I did not text you or say anything is because the sex was not up to par, at least to my standards. Right. Would you want me to tell you why?
Yes. That's better than being ghosted and just not knowing. I think, well, from my perspective, I feel like I would want to know why, especially if we have sex. Like, I need you to tell me why you're not responding or communicating back. And if that's the reason, then that's just what it is. That's out of your control. I mean,
so tell me.
That's out of your control. So I think what bothers women the most is not knowing anything. Like, why?
So tell me.
If you're gonna answer, you can't be mad if I ask you why and you tell me why.
So tell me how to word it. Go ahead.
Okay, I guess to be more conscious of the woman's feelings. You know, you don't want to be rude or disrespectful. Just be like, it wasn't what I expected, maybe. And just keep it as simple as that. I mean, you may want to give details of why. I mean, she may want to know why. What wasn't up to par? And it may not help you at that particular moment, but it may help the next person. So, yeah, just being honest. I like honesty, genuine, honest conversations. And if a woman can't respect it, then she shouldn't ask why.
So if I tell you, hey, Nisha, you know, I had a good time last night. The sushi was dope. The drinks were real good. That's a good place that you chose. Awesome place. But the sex just wasn't good. You know, I was really expecting something different. I know I see you on Instagram always talking about that WAP, but when I got it, it just wasn't hitting on nothing. It wasn't really all that for real. What say you? What's your direct response if I say that? And that was slow, methodical. I mean, I told you what really wasn't hitting.
I don't know. I've never really had that.
and you missed it earlier because what I was during my monologue, I was saying that there's so many sayings, songs, colloquialisms. I mean, you name it about a man lacking in sexual performance. But I'm gonna be honest, I can't think of any songs downing a woman's sexual performance. So that's why, and I asked Shar the same thing, and she was stumped as well. Like, I ain't never really happened.
I think a man usually leads in that department. If the sexual performance isn't there from the woman's perspective, then maybe you need to check yourself. Maybe you didn't do something that, you know, generated that sexual chemistry that would, you know.
And see, that's what usually happens whenever we tell the truth about something. It's usually deflection. It's usually, it's probably you.
Deflection, I don't think. I mean, it could be the woman, but I don't really know too many. I mean, I can't tell. You know, I've never had sex with women. So I don't know what that experience feels like to be able to say, oh, you know, your WAP wasn't whopping, you know. So, I mean, niggas, you know, pretty much have sex with anything, you know.
True. I will not deny that one.
So there's no real way to tell. Like, what's not whopping? Was it not wet enough? Was the rhythm not there? Like, you know, maybe your emotions wasn't there. You know, maybe that chemistry wasn't there, and that's what it is. So you can't really just say, oh, you know, your pussy wasn't good. You know, the sex wasn't that great. It's why it wasn't great. Was the chemistry not there? Was, you know, the mood not there? Were you too drunk and both of you can't really remember? You know, it's a lot of factors that go into that. You can't just say, oh, it's your fault. It's you. Okay. You just say your chemistry wasn't there and, you know, you're not feeling it.
Okay. So let's say, getting off the sexual subject a little bit. So let's say he tells you that your personality was piss poor. He didn't like your personality. And you were argumentative and he just doesn't think this is going to work out. What's your response at that point?
I mean, that's what it is. Everybody doesn't hit it off. I mean, maybe whatever the conversation was didn't generate a attitude or reaction that you like, and that's what it is. Everybody's not meant for each other. Everybody's not meant to handle each other's personality or reaction. So it just wasn't meant to be. And that's just what it is. You can't really be mad if I can't really be upset that you not feeling my personality or my reaction to certain things. That's your perception.
Okay, that's fair. Have you ghosted someone before?
I have.
Why?
Either the conversation, what I was hearing in the conversation wasn't what I was wanting. Maybe initially I wasn't feeling that person at the beginning. I decided to give them a chance and it still just we didn't hit it off. Or maybe there's more than one person and the other person won out. Yeah. And that's what dating is.
So women have rosters too, is what you're saying?
I would say so. I mean, you're supposed to. I mean, if you're dating, you're not supposed to be dating one person. Dating involves dating more than one person, to me.
Okay, and that's
you can date one person, but it's okay.
But I don't. Open. Like we were saying earlier about technology being so different. We were talking about how Grandpa, he had to go all the way across town and go get some chicken, and he may have a chicken he gotta have a chicken a whole nother zip code over here. There's a lot of traveling going on, you feel what I'm saying? So most people would kind of date one person, but now, I mean, with these dating apps and things like that, man, I don't know if you've typed dating apps in your iPhone in the app store, but I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, not to go too far off topic, but I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about what I call the underworld on these apps, to where they have apps for everything you could possibly imagine. If you want to swing, if you want to have a gay lesbian threesome, if you want to only hook up only, like that is the only reason I'm on here. There's not even perceived that this is what I'm here for.
Right.
I mean, you name it, for Spanish people, Asians, blacks, whites, whatever. I was like, damn, that shit was, I never knew that horny shit was at the palm of your hands like that. That's horny.
I'm not even surprised.
I was very surprised. I thought all of this stuff was still taboo to a certain extent, to where you may see a profile like that on a regular dating app, but I never knew that there were literally apps for this stuff. But going back to the topic, the technology is so close at the palm of your hands that you have the ability to date numerous people, and a man could low-key, I'm gonna be honest, a man could low-key have a date every night if he really was focused on just dating. But in that point, you're not focused on nothing else, and that could be problematic.
Right, you're dating just to keep company. You're not dating with like a purpose to meet someone.
Okay.
Which should be stated, when you are dating.
Mm-hmm. It's a thing.
Yes.
It is definitely a thing. So have you ever had a roster to where let's say one person, because I said earlier about the one person that sparked your interest a little bit more than the rest, so you're trying to hone in on this one. Have you ever had to cut other people off, like verbally, not just a ghost?
Yeah, I have.
How do you break that to somebody?
I mean, I'm real honest. I'm real straightforward, because that's what I expect with me. So let's say, I'm kind of dating somebody else, and it's a little bit more serious than this. So yeah, I'm gonna have to fall back a little bit. And usually, like, the other end, they're like, well, we can still be friends, but it just you have to understand. I told you what it is. So I mean,
I told you what it is. That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
You're right. So you really can't expect anything more. Now, if things change, then I'll let you know. But that's just where we are.
Oh shit!
If that doesn't work out, then
then you'll double back. You'll holler back at that point.
if I want to, yeah. If that's somebody I'm interested in, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Is there such thing as mutual ghosting, to where it was a date and it was a bad date? You know what I mean? It was a bad date, but I mean, y'all didn't storm out or nothing like that. It's just, you know, things were a little contentious. So you had a couple awkward moments or whatever. Y'all go your separate ways, and then neither one of y'all hit each other up. Has that happened?
Yeah, this happened.
Would
well,
that be-
eventually, with me, eventually somebody's gonna hit somebody up eventually later on. Maybe it might not be right away, but eventually. But yeah, that's happened.
If someone is, and this is kind of still on topic, if someone is following you on Instagram, somebody that you're dating or was dating, cut off, ghosted, whatever, what have you, are they really ever out of your life to where you're done with this person? If they're still on your Instagram, remember social media, I mean, a direct message is the same thing as a text to me. I mean, it goes to your phone. Are they ever really out of your life to where you see how you had a roster, right? So you got a roster. Let's say all three of these men that you're dating follow you on Instagram. You're interested in one of the three. You decide to cut the other two off, I guess, however you go about doing that, because they're still following you. So they're going to think y'all still cool, right?
Not necessarily. Like, social media is one thing. You can follow each other and not communicate. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Now, if you're DMing or texting outside of social media, then there's still that open communication. But if you're just following me, I'm following you, you're looking at my stories, I'm looking at your stories, that's just it. You know, now DMing and liking pictures and all that stuff, that's something else. But well, liking pictures ain't really that big of a deal unless you respond. Like, that's what social media, that's what Instagram is for, to like pictures and like stories. But when it comes to having a conversation or having some type of dialogue and DMs and whatnot, that's what takes it a little bit further.
Okay.
So there's no harm in just you following each other. No, that's what social media is for.
So if a dude that you were dating was following you, and then you're now serious with another person, do you think that would cause a conflict at all? Like, would that person continue, like, just like you said, liking pictures, hard eyes here and there on the stories or what have you? Do you think that'll cause a problem? Because now the two guys that you cut off are still following you. I mean, they still find you attractive. They didn't have no problem. You don't want to cut them off.
Right. No, I don't think it's a problem. No, not unless it becomes like you keep DMing me. Like if you keep, DMing, not if you're DMing saying, oh, this is nice pictures or whatnot, but if you DM, you should call me, or why you don't call me no more. That's when it comes, I might have to unfollow you or block you or something. But yeah, I don't think there's no problem in you still following me and seeing my stories. But I don't think that's an issue.
Okay. Now, if that person comments under your picture, right? Comments under your picture, your now boyfriend at the time asks, who is that? What do you tell him?
Somebody I used to date. I mean, I'm all about being honest. Like, when you start lying, that shows that you have something to hide. I have nothing to hide, especially if I'm not like kicking it with that dude, or if I'm not communicating. Like, if I have a boyfriend, then, it's just somebody who used to talk to. That's just what it is. I feel like that's harmless unless it goes an extra step. Other than that, and you're communicating, if my boyfriend feels like it's a problem, then I guess I'll block them or unfollow them. But that's just, or have them unfollow me. I don't know how. Yeah, just block them or something.
You can block
them.
But
yeah, because I would feel the same way. As a woman, I'm who is this? I investigate.
Okay. So,
I'm looking, who is this? And if I feel like it's a problem, then I'll bring it up. But if not, then you can watch, you can admire.
So all in all, you don't condone ghosting. So let's say you have sex with an individual and their sex is whack or not to your liking. Are you going to tell them that?
At this point, yes.
Really?
If I ghost you and tell you, okay, so wait, say that again. If I ghost you and the reason is because of our sexual encounter, would I tell you that?
Yep, the sexual encounter wasn't up to par. Would you let them know? Like it was just bad. It was, I don't know, it was small. Whatever you don't like, that was it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna be rude about it and say, "Oh, your sex was just whack. It was terrible." No, I'm gonna tell you what you did wrong, and that's just what I didn't like or what I wasn't feeling, and leave it at that.
Okay, give me something wrong. Let me see if I can respond to it.
As far as a sexual encounter, well, I like a sense of intimacy, so if there's no intimacy and that's what I was looking for, then I'll tell you, like it was just sex. It wasn't intimate and I would want something more. And
so if I say, hey, well, I mean, I could kiss you if you want.
What are you saying? Would that change my?
Yeah, because the only reason is I wasn't intimate. Oh shit, you like intimacy? Why didn't you say so? I'm with that. Let's go. I can kiss you for sure. Let's do
if
that.
It's not too late, then I may give you another try. But if I feel like no, I'm good, then I'm just gonna say that. I think I'm good. It's okay. So that's just what it is. And you're gonna have to respect that.
Man, I just find it so difficult to tell people about their faults. I had a conversation with a young lady, right? And this young lady, whenever I talk to her, she cuts me off all the time. As you can see, I'm a pretty slow talker. I like talking slow, being careful with my words, pronunciating shit, and trying to get my thoughts across, right? This person will cut me off all too. I'm like, just cut me off. I told her, you cut me off every time I'm trying to speak. Guess what she said?
What?
No, I don't. So I'm like, how can you tell the person you're cutting off that you're not cutting them off?
That's poor listening skills then.
Did I make that up? Right? I must have just made it up. But that's what I run across more is that whenever you're telling someone about there's zero self-accountability out here. I mean, zero. It's as if
everybody has zero accountability. I mean, I don't think everybody does. Maybe that was that particular person.
Oh no. This is standard. For me, I'm like, I can only tell y'all my experience. I feel like I have good enough experience to start a whole damn show. So I can only tell you about my experience. And with my experience, when you do tell a woman, or at least about a fault of them, because women, I mean, be honest, you're used to getting compliments most of the time. Hey, beautiful. Good morning, beautiful. Hey, sweetheart. Hey, gorgeous. You look good today. Nice lipstick, nice heels. You working out? You doing squats? You're used to compliments more than anything. It's very rare that you get negative feedback, at least from a man. Your homegirl may tell you something, maybe. But y'all are used to getting positive feedback. So it's like that's why most men be ghosting, because when we tell you something about yourself, it's just so combative sometimes. And that's not all. I'm not saying that's all of them, but I say if I put 10 in a lineup, I'm gonna go 7 or 8 is gonna be combative when you're telling them something, some constructive criticism. At least it's constructive criticism from our end. It may come off as disrespectful to you.
But saying like certain things, like it depends on what you're saying. Like saying that you're cutting me off every time I talk, that's standard. That's particular. I don't think that's all women. I don't think that's 7 out of 10 women. That's just particular. So. Some women, if they may not know it until you tell them. Now, when you tell them and they still don't recognize it, then that's just what it is. That's that particular thing. It's different ways you can look at that. When you tell a woman something about herself, maybe that's physical, that maybe they don't agree with, like, you can't be mad that they don't agree with it. Like, they can understand how you feel, but they don't agree with it. Something as simple as you're cutting me off, that's something that can be worked on. That's not a personality disorder. That's just something maybe that person, that woman didn't recognize, because men do that too. Like, I could be talking and you're going to keep cutting me off. And if I tell you to stop cutting me off and you keep doing it, that's a problem. That's not a woman thing. That's just a people thing. Some people don't know how to listen, and that's just a trait. Maybe they didn't learn that. Maybe they don't know how, or maybe they don't recognize it.
When I run into it, and I'm telling you, man, I run into that a lot, to where and what some women say is that with the one with the bad attitudes, obviously that's not everybody, right? But the bad attitudes, and I'll hear them say, I haven't found a man that can handle me. You ever heard that from a woman before?
Yes.
I haven't found a man who can, these niggas is weak. You heard that?
I've heard that, yes. I
never understood what that meant. And people have said that to me in my face. Like, oh, these niggas can't handle.
I mean, that's personality. Everybody's personality doesn't match. You know, some men and women are very talkative. So that means that both of you want to be heard. Both of you have a lot to say. So if you have one person who is very, very talkative and has a lot to say, and the other person is more of a listener and expects you to listen, then you're not meshing. That means your personalities aren't, in tune with each other. It just means that y'all aren't meant to be. Either y'all gonna work on y'all communication or you're not. And if you can't, then you'll go your separate ways. It's just that everybody's personalities are different. Some people are attracted to, some people are more quiet, and the significant other is more vocal, and that works for them. It's just a matter of what personalities you're looking for, what traits you're okay with, and what you're willing to deal with. And if you're not willing to deal with it, then you decide.
What personality meshes with you?
Well, I think I'm real neutral. I'm a good listener, but I'm also very vocal as well. I'm pretty outspoken. And you can't shut me up. Like, not.
Oh, no?
Okay.
Okay.
Like, if I have something to say, I'm going to say it. And either you're going to respect it and you're going to listen to it, or you're not. And if you don't, then that either it brings about a heated conversation. It doesn't have to get rude and turn into an argument. It can, but it definitely could. But you're still going to have to respect what I'm saying, or it is, or keep it moving. Like that, if you can't respect what I'm saying, you can agree to disagree. That's the thing. Like when you're having a certain conversation, you're not going to agree on everything. And I don't want to agree on everything. Sometimes you got to agree to disagree and know that that's what's happening, and keep
a healthy debate is good. So you wouldn't classify yourself as one of those women that may say, I haven't found a man that can handle me. The whole handle me thing. I never understood what that meant. I don't want to handle a woman per se. I'd rather them just chill and relax.
I guess some men can get intimidated by a woman's outspokenness or being opinionated.
Is it intimidation though? Or just we don't want to deal with a woman that's a little too loud?
What don't you want to do? What's loud though? Because my volume is loud, or because what I'm saying is what's loud? You
got volume loud. You have contentious arguments to where everything is man hate. Like anytime a man says things that men say because we're a man, there's a problem with that. Case in point, story time. So I went on a date with a young lady and we brought the comment of gender roles, I think, or the subject of gender roles may have came up. And I say that most women want a man that can lead. Is this correct?
True.
Now,
Yeah.
I thought that was universal. I had no idea that people had a problem with that, but she did. Anything that I said that put a man above a woman, either physically or theoretically or whatever, she would combat that. I mean, to the death. She said, I don't want a man that can lead. We will lead. I said, what the fuck is that? Why would we want to lead? If we are leading, then who the hell is following?
Right. Well, I mean, I guess putting it in those terms, leading and following, I don't know. Some people are very traditional, and that's the way we are as far as a man should lead, a woman should follow, but there's different contingencies to following. Like, just because I'm following you as your woman doesn't mean that you control everything I say and do.
And that's the problem right there. The problem right there, Nisha, is that these roles have become 4-letter words to modern women. Is that if we say we're leading, you jump into slavery or something.
Well, that sounds, because some men see, and that's the thing, maybe she's experienced something, whether it's her as a child or her in previous relationships, where a man could be following, but they take that role into control. You can't control the woman. Following to me means that you are, leading. I guess, when we're walking up the street, you can hold my hand, you're the man, you're kind of like leading the way. You have a set opinion about certain things that, I guess as far as the household and what you want, but you can't control me. You can't tell me that I have to sit home. You can't tell me that I can't go out with my friends. Like, leading doesn't mean controlling. And there's a fine line between that.
No one said controlling, but I think people, it's like, you ever see the memes that say, they have somebody sleeping peacefully and they say, this is how I sleep when I'm not in a relationship, or because when I'm single, I'm happy. And it's as if people are correlating stress to in a relationship to where that it's just always a problem. So I say that to say this: when we say lead, why does it always have to be, a controlling factor of it? It's like, I ask you this. How many upset housewives do you see?
Upset, like all the time, or just sometimes?
Upset on Instagram, talking with their homegirls, mad about this, that, and the third. How many upset housewives do you see talking about, I don't want no man to control me, I don't want this, tell me what to do, nah, we gonna lead, alpha woman? When you don't, I haven't seen it, you tell me.
I don't see any, like none of the married women that I know are in that, have that mindset, because there's an understanding that comes with marriage, especially if you know your partner before you get married. There's an understanding there.
That's what I'm saying. The only women who say these things are single women. About I don't want nobody to control me, I want nobody to do that. Well,
it would be single women that probably had that experience before. That's why they're speaking on experience.
But then you're going to stay single forever with that mindset. Are you going to get somebody that you don't really respect? I mean, you could do that. I'm down for that. You could do that. Get somebody you don't respect and walk all over them, if that's the case.
No, not necessarily. I think single women who say that and preach that, again, have maybe had that experience that, I need a man who is going to lead me, not control me. And again, it goes into that, yes, you want a man to lead you, all right? You don't want no weak man that's a yes man, like a woman's going to lead the household. No, I mean, I don't know no woman that I know respectively wants to lead their household. Like, no, you want the man to lead the household, but there's an extent to that. Like, you can't tell me, you don't control me at all. So again, it still comes into, you know, having that sense of freedom to be yourself. And again, women who are single, who are preaching, I don't want no weak man. I don't want a man to not, or I don't want to, I want to be the lead. I don't really know any real woman who says I want to lead. Like,
I mean,
I don't really know any women
the way that they're talking, I mean, maybe.
And they must want to experience. These women maybe that you are encountering who are making these comments are women who may have had experiences with a man who just couldn't lead them the right way. That's their experience. So you can't fault them for expressing their feelings based on what they've experienced already. I don't think they'll be single forever. I mean, until they kind of adjust their mindset a little bit.
Why do you think they won't? Why you think they won't be single forever?
What women who? Because eventually you're supposed to learn. Like, when you grow, you're supposed to learn.
You would think. You know how many 40-plus-year-old women I know that are the same way, and they're not changing. They're still trying to date. It's not like they're just, you know, married to a vibrator. They try to date, but their attitude has not changed. It actually gets worse. Do you know the longer you stay single, the worse you become, because you're not practicing cohabitating with somebody, cooperating with somebody. You can do everything yourself.
The longer you stay single, the worse your attitude gets. I don't think so.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm going to tell you why. Because you start to lose hope. So now you don't even care no more. You don't even care about men. You still date them, but you start to not care about them even more. They serve no value to you anymore. You've dealt without a man for. I've talked to a girl. Well, I didn't go no further than after this. I've like literally talked to a girl who was single for 10 years.
Like single, no dating, like single as far as not being in a relationship? Or?
No relationship. So this means, see, single, that means that you emotionally close yourself off from anybody. You could be with someone physically, but emotionally, was emotionally unavailable. Check out my video on YouTube about the emotionally unavailable woman. They become emotionally unavailable because it's been 10 years. 10 years. Ain't no man gonna be able to tell you nothing at this point. 10?
The right man will. Maybe she just ain't met the right man. Like,
who is the right man? I had a conversation about that yesterday as well. When we were talking about attraction versus interest, to where women want the alpha man with beta qualities or something.
The alpha man.
That's the perfect man for some women. That's how you describe them right there. You may not use that same verbiage that I used, but in a nutshell, that's what you're looking for. And that's, listen, I don't date men, but I'm going to assume that's pretty hard to find.
Their qualities.
Yeah,
so an alpha man who's willing to take the lead, but will fall back when necessary for his woman.
Right. That's difficult to find. Now, mind you, we respect our woman. Dating an alpha man is not a death sentence. It's actually pretty damn dope.
Because because it's a compromise. All relationships are compromised. Men are put on this earth to lead, to protect, to provide. So that's what you're expected to do. But there are times where you kind of got to fall back, and your woman has to step in and let her lead, and you have to follow. So it's a compromise. Mm-hmm. That's how it's supposed to be, at least in my mind. That's what relationships are. That's in my mind. Now, if a woman doesn't feel that, then maybe she's experienced something that proved her differently. But from what I've seen, from what I've grown up with, from what I've experienced, that's what a real relationship is. Compromise. You are the alpha man, But there will be times where you need to kind of fall back and understand where I'm coming from, and
of course,
let me lead a little bit, because men don't know everything. It's a balance.
Of course, yeah, we don't. But I'm saying, like, even on the first couple dates, it's as if y'all lead into this real masculine energy. Like, we get it. We get it. You've been taking care of yourself for umpteen years. Congratulations. You're an adult.
So you're saying women who come across men who will lead won't find that attractive? I would find that attractive. If I've been leading and been so independent for all this time, and I meet a man that is able to lead a little bit, kind of release that pressure off of me from having to be the alpha woman all the time, then that's attractive. Yes.
And that's what we're here for. That's why I wish more women would have that mindset that you have, as far as, look, I'm tired of doing everything myself. Can you please sit me down? Please let me just go ahead and cook something for both of us to eat. Can you please?
What even are you meeting who don't want that? That's crazy.
Oh God. No, I mean, they want more of an equal partnership of some sort. They want to still be their alpha self and somehow want alpha male as well. So we're both just like this. Because I ain't gonna sit down, you ain't gonna sit down. We're just gonna keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I mean, most women want it, yeah. But are they ready for it? Do they have the stomach for that?
Well, then that means they're not ready for a relationship. A relationship is there's certain things that have to be compromised for a relationship to work on both parts, from the woman's point and from the man's point. It's all a compromise.
Exactly.
Your personalities are compromised. The way you move, the way you handle finances is a compromise. The way you take care of your household, children, the way you raise children is definitely a compromise. So
yeah,
I mean,
whenever kids come into it, yeah, that's definitely a compromise. So back to ghosting. Who do you think ghosts more, men or women? Does more ghosting, like straight ghost?
Who do I think ghosts more? I think women. Oh wait, hold on, let me think about this.
Think about it. I think women may have more opportunities to ghost, maybe. No, let me think. Who gets more play, men or women? I guess it just depends. Depends on the person.
It depends. Yeah. I think women ghost a lot more when they're uninterested. Men, hold on. I don't know. I think it's real balanced, because men can ghost women a lot too. But usually when men ghost women, that just means it's another woman. Well, actually, I think it's level there, because it happens both ways. Both men and women can ghost women because there's another person they're interested in, or they can ghost each other because they're just not interested. And that happens all the time from both genders. So I think that's level. That's kind of hard to.
I think men may ghost more. I'm trying to think. When's the last time I was like legit ghosted? Like I said, like, see, this is real ghosting, right? Like when you can look at your phone and you just see nothing but gray. Just straight. I remember, this is horrible, man. Story time. Yo, I had ghosted this one girl one day. I went out on a date with her, right? Went on a date with her. It was fly too, to where I went out, and guess what? And this is what I tell women to do. I tell women to do this. No one listens to me, but this is the one time that this has happened, and we attack like wild animals. So remember, I always say, ditch your homegirls. Go out by yourself, get as pretty as possible, and sit at the bar and sip a drink, slow as hell. Guys will be, somebody's coming, okay? Somebody's coming. So I was that somebody. So what I did was, mind you, we had a table all the way over yonder. She was at the bar. So I told the bartender, hey, so I want you to do. I'm gonna write my number on this napkin. I want you to order her another drink of what she was drinking and send this napkin over, right?
Right.
Sent the napkin over with the drink. She ended up texting me right then and there. Go over there, talk, we hit it off, this, that, and the third. At this point, I was on some fuck shit. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, that's what your mind, you already knew what was that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I was definitely on some, this was a long time ago, okay? I wasn't the upstanding citizen that I am today. I've changed.
Okay.
I was on some fuck shit. So whatever. One thing leads to another. Fast forward, I'm just not feeling her no more. She became a little clingy for me, and I just didn't know how to express it. So it came to the point where she was literally talking to herself in my phone. It was really crazy, and that probably was.
So you stopped responding. You weren't responding.
I just wasn't. No, I wasn't responding. And when I thought back about it, I mean, I don't have no cares now, but back then I was like, damn, that was fucked up. And now I realize how ghosting can possibly affect people because that person had no idea why I was ghosting her, and it wasn't even that serious neither.
But I got a story about you. Like this nigga ghosted me. Like she probably got a story about you then.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm sure I was called all type of names to her homegirls. I get it. I get that. I'm sure it won't be the first, and it probably won't be the last time I've been talked about. I don't know. And people could say things, but yeah, I was young. I was in my 20s, and that definitely isn't the right thing to do. I usually use more of the fallback method today. I think the fallback method, it's less problematic on all fronts.
What is the fallback method? What do you mean?
So the fallback method is, say that we go on a date, we have a good time, we're talking, we go on another date. Let's say I'm just not really feeling it, right? Not really feeling it. You hit me up and say good morning. I may just say good morning. Mm-hmm. You may say, hey, how's your day going at about, let's say you say, how's your day going at 9:30? Mm-hmm. I may text you back at 9:30 p.m. and say it's going okay. So what'll happen is you'll start making more space in between, right? Uh-huh. And you never explain the space in between. Message, you never explain the space. You just create it. And and this is one of those, it just is what it is type things. That person understands, all right, this guy isn't really that interested in me, or if it was coming from you, we'd say, you know what, this chicken, she ain't really interested, man. She out here playing games. Let me move on.
Right.
I'm not gonna give him as much interest. So I would rather do that than just a straight ghost. Like have you just sitting there texting and not say nothing.
So that's a whole strategy. Like wait a couple hours, wait all day, and then send back.
Mind you, I'm not condoning either one. We would hope that everybody can just tell everybody why they not messing with them no more. Hey, I'm just not interested no more. Hey, I'm just playing games. Hey, I ain't shit, to be honest with you. Like we would wish that people would tell the truth, but you good and goddamn well know that motherfuckers be lying.
Right.
They be lying. I don't condone doing none of it, but man, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to not, I don't want to give the energy to possibly hurt your feelings. And now we have a whole conversation on the phone about it.
Right.
I've done it all. I've ghosted, I've faded to black, and I've told somebody in their face why I'm not trying to mess with them.
True. I feel like, most people have. I've done all too. But now I'm more considerate of people's feelings. So if I'm not feeling you, I would rather kind of tell you initially so that there's no confusion. Because now people are crazy. I watch too much stuff on the news, and
clearly, yes.
Like guys are straight pull up on you, and I don't want to even talk about something. I'm just gonna be real open and honest with you from the jump, okay?
Mm-hmm. I wish everybody.
I mean, it's got to be considered. Some people just don't have that thing in them where they're considerate of anybody else's feelings. I mean, and it's okay. Like, everybody's different, everybody moves differently, and you got to take it for what it is and keep it moving. Some people can't do that, but that's a personal problem. That's
the sad part, man, that everybody is going for self. I mean, people have been hurt before. So, and that's what happens. That's where the hurt people come from, because that person's like, well, shit, I've been hurt before. Fuck this nigga. Forget this chick. It's been done to me. You think I haven't said that before? Yeah, I've said that. I got ghosted. Get your ass ghosted too. I've gotten fade to black on. Get your ass fade to black on. That's what happens, is that people don't care about other people. They just don't care. This is just some person that I met, but this goes back to that technology with a date literally being at the palm of your hands. You and I both know, Nisha, you can get a date right now. No problem. Get your meal paid. Let's say you hungry for somebody. You can get on your phone and tell some sucker that's been liking your pictures for the past 2 weeks, what's up? You trying to go out? And this man will take you out, feed you, and you will go home and never hit him up again. Never hit him up again. And
real savage, like that's some real
savage mode. You've had no skin in the game. All you did is waste a megabit of a text. That is all you did. Got yourself ready. He came and got you. Didn't even waste gas. He came and got you, or you had to meet him up somewhere, whatever. And you had a free meal and went on home and ghosted him. So with that said, I'd be like, it's happened to me. Why not? Not thinking that this is a completely different person with completely different feelings, completely different mindset, had no idea that this other person just shafted you like that. But
right. I think as you get older, like that mindset is supposed to change. It doesn't always change, but as you get older, I feel like, I don't know, maybe because I'm very compassionate, like I'm not, I could be real savage if I wanted to be, but it's not in me to be real savage like that. So
don't be
I'm more
savage,
considerate of somebody's feelings. Like, I'm not going to waste your time if I already know that.
We appreciate that. Y'all have to realize that men have feelings. We may not express it, but we would just cut your ass off. You hurt my feelings. Hurt my feelings if you want to. I'm up out of there. Okay? So we may not say, girl, you hurt my feelings. Like, we're not going to say that. But if you do, we up out of there. Track star. Okay?
Right.
So don't hurt men's feelings. Nisha, thank you. I'm going to close out the show. We're going to put you back at the tip top here.
Okay.
Appreciate you. Boom. Good show, right? Good show about ghosting. We got some good insight from people. Look, stop ghosting people, man. Be a man. Be a woman. Put your pants on. Tell them the sex was whack so they don't go around here thinking they got that WAP. I think that rhymes. But either way, let people know that you have a girlfriend. Let people know you got a boyfriend. Let people know your situation. Let people choose for themselves. Even though when they do choose for themselves, they'll still double back around and say why this and why that. And us men will say, man, we said we didn't want a relationship, but this, that, and the third. Y'all don't give a goddamn. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Anywho, in closing, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This will be going on YouTube. So depending on where you're watching this, I am Chris Hall. Follow me on Instagram at Chris Hall ATL. In the bio of my Instagram is going to be a link to my YouTube. Hit that link. That's going to throw you over to YouTube. Hit a bell over there to be notified anytime I drop content. We will be trying to have these live shows every Wednesday at the same time. I'm going to be doing more Instagram lives because, like I said in the earlier monologue, it seems easier for people to get on the Instagram live. This is, more intimate, more professional. So that's how I like to talk to my peoples. Okay. Talk to y'all later. Signing out. Later.